Hi, welcome back to Chamber Chat. I'm Hayley Klein, Director of Artesia Chamber of Commerce. I have with me here today two special guests, two doctors right here in Artesia. Dr. Johnny Moreno, who is a long-time, actually born Artesian, correct?
Right, and I've been here for 30 years.
Been here for 30 years. And Dr. Petar Ilievsky. Okay, very good.
I'm not in Artesia born, but I'm both far from here.
But we would never know by your accent.
Never know, but you know, if I make decision to buy the house, I probably want to stay here.
Very good. That's the first thing we like to hear from the doctors in town. Now, Dr. Moreno, most people in Artesia know you and love you, and you have many patients here already. You're with Yucca Healthcare.
Yes, I am.
And how long? Tell me about what's happening at Yucca and how long you've been there.
Well, Yucca Healthcare is a urgent care center, and we try to take care of urgent needs and follow patients on a day-to-day basis. Things that you would see in family practice. So it's really a broad-based practice that includes pediatric, adolescent, adults, and geriatric patients. I see the lion's share of the patients that I see are probably adult geriatrics, but we have two nurse practitioners in the office, Carol Catazzini and Carol Holland. They're both family nurse practitioners that are there on a full-time basis, and they see pediatric adults and adolescent patients also.
Very good.
So between the three of us, we cover the clinic.
Cover the bases. Okay. And you've come in with Artesia General Hospital.
Yes.
And while Dr. Moreno is a general practitioner, you are a urologist.
Yes, I'm a urologist.
New to Artesia, right?
I'm first time full time. It before and still is coming. Dr. Ripka from Carlsberg, and he treats some patient, but I'm full-time urologist, first time here.
And living in Artesia.
Living in Artesia.
So you belong to us.
I feel like Artesian.
Very good, very good. We'll wait till you get to football season. So full-time urologist with Artesia General Hospital. You are in the medical building actually across the street from the hospital.
We are neighbor with Yucca, on the next building we are there.
And Yucca, we should make it clear that Yucca is a completely separate organization from the hospital, correct?
Yes.
Okay, but you two do work together.
Oh, yes. And I screen patients and refer them to Dr. Ilievsky.
Very good. And we'll talk about specifically prostate issues, prostate awareness, which is September is the awareness month. Let's talk about you. Tell us how you found Artesia. You're obviously not from the area.
When you look on the map, any place in the world you can find. One of recruiter called me what I think about going to work in Artesia. First of all, I asked him how high is. When he encouraged me it's not so high, I came and visit first time in November last year. And my impression was good because it's nice hospital, new hospital. And I thought maybe they need some manpower like me with experience to start urology from the beginning. That was my idea, and I was back again in March this year. We signed the contract and I started this July.
Very good. And I imagine your business will pick up very quickly for you, although it's not the thing most people want to deal with right away. And we'll get into that again a little bit later, but I imagine you'll end up being pretty busy.
We are pretty busy. We, met together with Dr. Moreno, with the patient, and there are specific situations in this hospital, in this town, because many patients who had some treatment in bigger city, university or anywhere, when they finish, they sent again, nursing home or at home. We have the chance to work for one patient together. We were very successful with that, and that was first our conversation about the patient, and now in the future we make decision because next month is September. September is awareness of prostate cancer all part in the world, and we are doing some procedure free. I offer to any patient or who is interested, free rectal examination for discovering early stage of the prostate or maybe prostate disease. Usually that is practiced on part in the vault. That is 1 week, 1 day to be free examination. But if the patient wants some other things like examine the blood, can be separate because that is charged.
And there will be a special day in September that you're doing that, or a period of time?
We will make decision what days is suitable. Usually I prefer to be 1 week, Wednesday or something, what is very convenient patient to come. You know, I remember when I did that in the Utah, when I was previously working, usually came people for free examination more than 25, 30. But I can examine that for 2 or 3 hours. It's not a problem for me.
Oh, okay. And you can look on Chamber Chat through your emails to get those dates. When they determine those dates, we'll advertise those for you.
Yeah, we'll be in touch.
Okay.
We will advertise what day will be that examination.
Now, there are jokes about the test, and I know most people probably don't really look forward to it, but it's important. Tell us why it's important and why not to be afraid.
Well, I mean, the only way to really access the prostate is through a digital rectal exam. There are blood tests that we use for screening, but the digital rectal exam is part of it should be part of every screening examination or physical that you do on a person, a male, and that's a good opportunity for you to discover cancer of the prostate or abnormalities of the prostate that are better found earlier than later. Your prostate is a gland in your body that naturally becomes enlarged as time goes on. So, prostate cancer tends to be a disease or a condition that happens in older men, usually after the age of 50, but the peak incidence of prostate cancer is around 68 to 70 years of age.
So, when should you start coming in for those tests? At 50? Is that a target age?
I tend to start doing digital exams at the age of 50 on.
Is that something you would do on an annual basis, or?
Yeah, that's annual basis after 50, but let me explain like urologist, because we know that some people get earlier prostate cancer, usually that people who had the origin African American, they have bigger percentage, and if they have in the history, in the family, especially father in younger age, we start screening from 40 or 45, you know, but normally we start after 50, once a year.
Are there certain signs to look for? In other words, if you are younger than 50, but you're suffering from a symptom, a condition, is there something you should look for that would be a sign that maybe you have an issue with your prostate?
Well, generally, prostate cancer can be a totally asymptomatic condition, but there can be symptoms that go along with prostate cancer and enlargement, and it's the same thing. The symptoms that you get for prostate enlargement and prostate cancer can be about the same, and that's nocturia, which means urinating frequently at night, dysuria, which is urinating, a painful urination, hesitancy, where you have trouble initiating urination or some dribbling on urination. I get, discomfort, although most of these symptoms may or may not be present even if the patient has prostate cancer, but those help you worry about that condition more frequently or quicker.
How common is prostate cancer?
Oh, very common. every 7 male after 50, they have the chance to get cancer in this country. Usually, it's discovered annually, 250 cases in the United States. But what happened, because Dr. Moreno is right, we new tests. We don't wait to start symptoms. We discover earlier, before symptoms start. Sometimes when symptoms start, it's too late. For that, we need special examination from the blood that we call PSA test. That is not specific for cancer, but is specific for prostate, because 30% to 33% who have the elevated PSA above the normal have the chance to have the cancer. Others have the maybe inflammation or benign. That is the reason what we want to discover earlier something what happened in the prostate. Recently there are new tests which is more confident, but still is not FDA approved. I was working in that project and I published 2 articles about that, because when we are coming from Europe, you know, in Europe it's not FDA, and that is the test discovered in United States, in San Diego, but first presented in Europe. I have experience before I came here and was included in that test. Until now, when I was included in that program, was free, but will be very expensive test. We call that is PCA3, that is genetic.
Oh, okay.
That is the purpose of that, to decrease number of the biopsy.
Very good. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back with more chamber chat and a visit with our doctors. And we're back with more chamber chat. Thanks for staying with us. We're visiting with Dr. Moreno and Dr. Ilievsky.
Yes, you're correct.
A urologist, our new urologist, and Dr. Moreno, a general practitioner over at Yucca Healthcare Centers. We're talking about prostate cancer and prostate awareness, which is the month dedicated to September. Now, treatments. Let's say you come across a patient here in town with prostate cancer or enlargement. Are you able to, for the most part, treat that here at Artesia?
Let me tell you, treatment of prostate cancer is very different. It depends from the stage, on the character of the malignancy of the prostate cancer. There are different approaches. The most useful and more aggressive and good is surgery. Surgery can be done open. Here in Artesia I can do anytime. But what happened? Technology is going farther and farther. What happened? Patient, you know, are aware of advertising on big hospital of robotic surgery, and they want to try that. I was in May, American Urological Association meeting in Washington. We discussed all that problem. It's not big difference, but always is more attractive new technology for the patient. And I think for Artesia General Hospital it's too expensive, that equipment, but we can do open prostatectomy anytime.
And you would, do you follow the patient, if he were to have or let's say you, a patient generated with you and had prostate cancer, you two work together to...
What generally what happens is I would either find the prostate cancer on a digital exam, or the patient would have a elevated PSA. Then I would send the patient to Dr. Ilievsky, and he would biopsy the prostate or get some tissue that would confirm that it's cancerous, and then the patient would then be sent for treatment, which if it would be a surgical treatment, which is a big part of it. Dr. Ilievsky would do the surgery. Now, if the cancer had advanced to the point of being spread beyond the prostate gland itself, then we would probably involve an oncologist or a radiation oncologist, and that would not occur here, but the patient would come back for his routine primary care needs to my office. So I follow a lot of patients that are being co-managed by the urologist, by the oncologist, by the radiation oncologist also.
Most important, right, first is to stay with your general practitioner. See your doctor regularly, have annual visits, that kind of thing, to stay tuned into
Yeah,
your body.
well, you know, the treatment will take, if it's surgical, maybe a day or two, and then the same way with if the patient's getting chemotherapy or radiation therapy. You know, it happens at a center. He gets the treatment, and he'll be back in this community. So I always am the one that will be the first one at hand to treat any complications related to either the procedures, and a lot of times there are problems that I may or may not be able to handle. If I can't handle them, I maybe will send the patient back to the urologist or the surgical, or the oncologist, and you know, just take care of those things that I can take care of.
Right, but going to you on an annual basis for those checkups to catch these things before they get out of hand is the most important.
Yeah, well,
first and foremost.
I encourage patients after the age of 50 to start doing annual wellness physicals, and that is part of what I do.
Very good. We've been talking about prostate cancer, but you do other things. So you're not just here to check out the prostate. A urologist can be seen for a variety of...
Except prostate cancer, we treat kidney cancer, bladder cancer, testicular cancer, or other disease, you know. For example, you know, incontinence in male and female. That is complication for something, you know, I mean, after delivery in female, and male after some surgery. And we are doing erectile dysfunction. But most important for this area where it's hot climate, when we have sweat and lost the magnesium from the sweat, it's very important forming the stone. I think it's more frequent and everyday pathology is kidney stone. Kidney stone can be treated with the special equipment we call lithotriptor, which is extracorporeal and can be treated with the laser. There are different kinds of treatment.
And kidney stones can be very painful.
Everything is medicine is painful. When I make some consultation with primary care physician, I always say that you know, stone disease is chronic disease. It's not formed overnight, but manifestation is very, very, very painful.
So climate has something to do with it. I mean, just, I guess you're saying the heat, if you sweat a lot.
Well, dehydration predisposes you to that.
Oh, okay, okay. So,
because it concentrates your urine, and any crystals that may be in the urine will crystallize and form stones. And
drink water.
So drink a lot of water. Yeah.
Drinking water is very important. What kind of water?
Bottled water?
Yeah, because maybe 25 years ago I did research about the forming, and I received PhD, influence of drinking water quality for forming the stone. I find many, many useful things. I notice here is very hard water, but hard water, too hard is not good, and too soft is not good. Medium is the best, because some water should have some mineral, calcium and magnesium, which is important for forming and preventing the stone.
So bottled water is medium? Or do we know? I mean,
it depends. It depends. It depends. Most of mineral water who have more magnesium, that is very useful because they protect kidney stone.
So we take for granted, or I should say I take for granted, that the water I get out of my reverse osmosis unit at home attached to my sink is...
And reverse osmosis, you know, is good, but not too much. We need some special amount of minerals. For calcium, 40 milligram, and 30 milligram for magnesium per liter. If that amount is very useful, maybe in some different emission we'll talk about that, because it's very important.
Wow, so now I'm going to think a lot about my water before I drink it. Probably too much. Okay, so again, September is Prostate Awareness Month.
Yeah, Prostate Cancer Awareness.
I think during the break you were saying that prostate cancer is the fourth, what you said, the fourth most common cancer?
No.
No.
Is that,
First, after, when you excluded the skin cancer, you know, it's first and it's second of mortality after lung cancer, you know.
I think there's a 250,000 cases of prostate cancer discovered per year, and I think out of those 250,000, about 30,000 die a year. Is that about right?
Yeah, 35,000 approximately
yeah.
died. But what is very important, when was discovered new tests, what we are talking about PSA, it was longevity of the people, because early discovery, early operation prolonged their life. But I want to emphasize about the prostate cancer, how we are getting older. After 75, the chances for cancer of the prostate is increasing to 70, maybe 85%. But we urologists say people will die with cancer, but not from cancer, from other disease like heart or pulmonary disease or other.
I see. Well, that's interesting. Okay, we were just talking about this. Dr. Moreno, you're from here. You're a Bulldog through and through, and we can see you at the games. Is that right?
Yes, I'm there.
Let's clear up.
I don't miss many games.
Let's clear up the rumor about the Vaquero. It's commonly believed that you were the model for the Vaquero at the sculpture downtown in front of La Fonda. True or false?
That is a false rumor, and it was perpetrated by Mr. Yates.
Yeah, well, but you do kind of have a resemblance, there's no doubt. You are not from Artesia, but you are adapting well. And
Yes.
you bought a home here. Your wife is here with you?
Yes, she is with me. But I will tell you, I was interested what is good in Artesia. I find out, and yesterday I spent from 6 to 8 o'clock in swimming pool. I swim, you cannot believe, 1 mile.
Very good.
I like swimming because I'm born close to the lake, but in lake is different, it's more clear. Here I can feel with my hand when I swim that is more hard water.
The hard water again. Here we go.
Yeah.
And you are, where were you raised? Where are you from?
I'm originally from former Yugoslavia, southern part, which was now independent state, is Macedonia, close to the Greek border. But I've spent a lot of time for education in United States. I spent 2 times fellowship, University in California, in Los Angeles. And after that, to keep my credential valid, I was coming 1 or 2 times during a year for some meeting or what is new. I have good connection with all my colleagues. Now I'm the leading professor there or in any part of United States, and always I want to be updated.
Well, we welcome you to Artesia. We're happy to have you here. It's a treat to have a urologist here in town, I think, among the other doctors that the hospital's recruiting, and the Yucca Healthcare Center is expanding so much. It's good to see the healthcare. Healthcare is booming in Artesia. Dr. Moreno can be found at Yucca Healthcare Center. The phone number there is
748-1266.
Okay. And how do patients reach you?
Okay, the phone is 575, area code 748-8311.
8311. And you are across the street from the hospital in the medical
We are very
campus.
close.
Very good.
We are
yes,
very close.
and your neighbors, and you work together.
Yeah.
Very good, very good. Thank you both for being here today. Very informative. September, Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. See your doctor. Get your checkups. Right?
Thank you.
Yes.
It was my pleasure to be a guest to your mission.
Thank you very much.
you.
You've watched another episode of Chamber Chat. Join us again next time for more great news about Artesia.